This is going to be a pet stories. For a change, I'm actually going to do it just filming animals. Because these are a lot more active at feeding time. So just pour a few near her, and wait for that one to jump out. But basically, I'm just going to be doing. Let me just grab this locust out, and I'll start talking about them. They haven't got as much in this feed. It's like one more locust. They haven't got as much in this feed as last time, because last time they got a lot more. But I might be upping them to large locusts next. But I haven't decided yet. So yeah. Just close that for a sec. So yeah, sorry about the bit delayed start, but yeah, this is Pet Stories number 5. And it's about my tomato frogs. I first got them, it was last June. I think it was beginning of June. And I've been looking at a few different frogs. I was looking at these, but they went. There were some tomato frogs in, but they went after about a few days being in the shop. I think it was a few days to a week in the shop, and I was looking at them, but then they went. And when I actually came to come and look at, to take my dad to the shop to have a look, there were 2 more tomato frogs in, and there was also the other frog I was looking at, a chubby frog, and there was a greenhorn frog. And I was between all 3, and in the end, I decided to get the tomato frogs. They were the smallest at the time. I knew the most about them because I'd researched a lot into them. As I always advise, research into it, but there's not many YouTube videos out there with correct information about tomato frogs, which was a bit weird. But I was very. Everyone said that there wasn't hardy species, so I was a bit put off. But I still got them in the end, and eventually I just decided. At first, I put them in that tank, which is a 30 cube, and then very quickly they went into one of them large, you can see to the right, my Coryx is one of them large flat exoterras, and then eventually got put in this. They are very, very quick growers, and because of that, they eat a lot, and they cost quite a bit, but I'll move on to that after. So basically, we walked into the shop, and I showed my dad these, and like, and this per usual, you know what my dad's like, because I mentioned him in a lot of these. Go on then. So we got them, and they've been one of my, probably out of all my pets, they're my family's favourite, because one, they're always out, and all my family who come can always see them. They're very good eaters, and they have really weird personalities. Like, I can tell that one's Doug, and that one's Russell. Not just because of the size, because when they were smaller I knew which one is which, because Doug is the one that is more active, a lot more active than, and Russell is now the bigger one, but Doug is a lot more active. So yeah, they're a very nice species to keep. I probably missed something about the story. I've not gone into as much detail, but you can't really say. Because the only other thing I can really say is I did have an interest in frogs, and I do eventually want another species of frog, but I'm not too sure at the moment. Eventually, maybe, but nothing as big as these because they take up a lot of space. Now, for if I would advise them, they are very, very good pets, very good frogs to have. They do take up a decent space because that's a 45cm tank. That's a 1.5 foot cube, which is a bit of a big space for a small frog, but it gives. You'll be able to keep one female in a large flat exoterra, but they don't really need the height. But because there's 2 females and they're very active, I give them this big enclosure. I wouldn't advise breeding them. That's one thing I would mention, as they have. I think their tadpole count is about 10,000. So if you want to do that, do it, but it's going to take a lot of money. And going into money wise, they're not that expensive to get. These were 15 to 20 quid each, I think, for babies. Maybe I think they were 15 quid each, something like that. And they both turn out to be female, which is good for me. But yeah, adults, you usually see them for about. I've seen adults for the same price. like 15-20 quid as well, but some places you see them for 35, which is a bit steep, but if you don't see them around your area, that's worth it. They're a very hardy species, but they do cost a lot. Outright, they are very cheap, but in the long run, they are a bit more expensive than tarantulas, etc. As on average, they go through a week about 3 boxes of live food, and that costs me a fiver. And in a month, that's 20 quid's worth of live food. And to clean them out with the moss, because I clean the moss out monthly, which you need to with frogs, because they eat a lot, they're gonna poo a lot. So it's a bit common sense really, and they are very good eaters though, very very good pets. So I'd advise them to anyone starting off who wants frogs, as long as you've got the space, and you can, if you have a male, you can just keep in the 30 cube and he'll be happy. But yeah, they're a very hardy species. They live up to 20 years, which is crazy, really long lived. And these are actually only a year and a half. Not even that. They're about a year and 3 months. Because when I got them, they were tiny. I think they're only like a month, 2 month old, maybe even 2 weeks. They were absolutely tiny. Compared to now, on comparison, these are 4 inches. One's 3.5 ish, a bit more, maybe 3.75, and the other's a bit over 4. They used to be about that big. So hopefully she will not go for my finger, but about that big. Oh, sorry, I poked you. Sorry. But yeah, they were absolutely minute. They were tiny. They were about not even an inch. They were probably pushing an inch, but not it. They were just below an inch. It was crazy. So they're very small when you get them, but they do grow really quick. It took them to get to this size, not even a year, about 9 months. Which is crazy growth rates. But yeah, that's just for next pet stories. I've dragged it on a bit, and I've probably missed something because I haven't done one of these series in a while. But if anyone wants any information, I know a lot about these frogs. I probably can give you any information needed, except breeding. Anything else I can give you advice on, because I've kept these for a while and I've learnt a lot. So yeah, that will pet stories and the tomato frogs feed. See you in my next video.